Would you dare to live in a haunted house? This man had just arrived by train too late at night to find other accommodations, so he had to accept the apartment the agent introduced to him. Although the house looked old, he thought he would only stay for 2 months for work and the agent's cervix was good, so he didn't mind too much. However, at the moment when the man entered the house and closed the door, the agent's mouth twisted into an evil grin. He didn't believe that the house was haunted at all, and cursed those old superstitious folks who claimed that it was. How could there be ghosts in this world? But he didn't know that there were hands approaching him from behind. At the same time, the tenant in the room was having an accident, and a dark figure was quietly approaching in the darkness. Next day, the shady real estate agent was punched awake by someone. Standing in front of him were Grandma Long and a police officer. It turned out that he had been pushed down the stairs and passed out last night. The tenant had died due to heart disease. Rundown building didn't have any surveillance cameras. Grandma Long asked him sternly with a gloomy face, "Why rent out a haunted house? Now you've caused the death of a tenant." The real estate agent broke out in cold sweat upon hearing this. A crowd had gathered outside, and there was another man standing outside of the crowd. His name is Tankar, a member of the Monster City Bureau responsible for investigating this mysterious case. However, he couldn't detect any monster energy or aura, making this task particularly difficult. At this moment, he formed hand seals and activated the Golden Hades Eye. This is a Taoist eye technique used for powerful investigation. It can observe the color of surrounding souls. Blue for ordinary humans, white for the deceased, yellow for individuals with special abilities, and red for demon spirits. At this time, the golden light in his left eye was swirling. Under the operation of the eye technique, the building became transparent, but no target was found upon careful search. However, he liked challenges, since the target was hidden so well. He needed to think of a good way to capture them. Once found, he would definitely beat them severely. This girl is actually renting a haunted house, even though there was a death in the house just yesterday. She's not afraid at all. The agent handed her the keys, but didn't dare to go up herself. The girl is in the room eating instant noodles, and a hand quietly reaches out from under the table, grabbing at her leg. But the girl happens to stand up to put up a poster on the wall, and suddenly the light on the ceiling goes out. There's also a creaking sound coming from the nearby cabinet. The girl is very scared, but gathers up her courage and walks forward. The girl yelled for whoever was inside to come out. At that moment, a crack appeared in the cabinet door, and a terrifying face showed itself. The girl suddenly changed her expression, and said, "Oh, here you are." She quickly opened the cabinet door, and then opened her backpack. Out flew a rooster, its shining eyes named War, a 4-clawed black chicken that could expose any demon. War flew fiercely towards the cabinet, and the girl closed the door with force. Then, there were constant sounds of impact and screams coming from inside the cabinet. The cabinet door eventually broke open, and War flew back into the backpack. Then, a ferocious ghost crawled out of the sea, Binet, and pounced on the girl, roaring to eat her. It opened its bloody mouth, revealing its terrifying fangs. However, it was immediately punched, and flew out, crashing heavily onto the ground. The ghost was frightened and nervously asked who the girl was. The girl drew a circle of light and her disguise disappeared. "I am Tankar, the champion of the Monster City Bureau's ghost-catching competition." The evil spirit became even more fearful, realizing that the Monster City Bureau was its nemesis. Although the evil spirit had strong hiding abilities, Tankar was not worried because she could easily kill it with just one finger. The ghost tried to escape invisibly, but was interrupted by War, which caused several wounds on its body. It turned around and ran towards the door, but when it touched the hanging poster, the talisman on it emitted golden light, immediately reducing the ghost to its original form. The prototype of the fierce ghost turned out to be a short and chubby little ghost. Looking at its trembling appearance, Tankar flicked its head. The poor little demon spirit said it couldn't leave, it had to wait for someone here. The little ghost originally lived in ancient times and had an really timid personality. Its only skill was hiding. Because of this, it was recruited by the Monster City Bureau. Later, it was exposed during a collaboration and fell into a trap. It was the only one who survived, but was seriously injured, and hid in this cabinet sleeping. After waking up in modern times, a blind old woman discovered him, and they lived together. The old woman treated him well until one day, she passed away and could not be awakened. Some people came and took her away, so he waited for the old woman to return. Tankar found out that the old woman Ha already died by using the Monster City Bureau app to scan the little ghost. The results showed that the little ghost was an extinct species, which had been hunted by demon spirits in the distant past. Tankar said he wanted to sell it because extinct demon spirits are very valuable in the black market. After hearing what Tankar said, the little ghost was frightened and started to cry. But Tankar quickly stopped joking and reassured the little ghost that he wouldn't sell it. He explained that old lady wouldn't be coming back and promised to protect the little ghost, his named Xiao Hei, from now on. The little ghost was deeply moved by Tankar's words and nodded in agreement, grateful for the protection and kindness that Tankar had shown him. Then Tankar took out a small ball and sucked Xiao Hei into it, causing him to scream. Xiao Hei felt that Tankar had deceived it, but Tankar ignored it. Tankar then took out his phone and accessed the task submission menu and chose to submit a failure. He decided to hide Xiao Hei's whereabouts. A girl is riding a motorcycle and rushing to deliver takeout. She's running late and needs to speed up. There's no one on the road at night, so she can make it if she goes faster. But suddenly, the girl hits something and is thrown off her bike, landing hard on the ground. She doesn't understand what she hit since there's nothing on the road. The rain is getting heavier, and a ferocious monster slowly appears in the middle of the road. The girl's name is Zhuang Ziren. Her mother abandoned her and her father when she was young, and her father passed away later. She had to rely on her relatives for support. She is working hard to earn money to find her mother, and make her regret abandoning her. She still needs a lot of money, but she believes that hard work will pay off. Mrs. Wang knocked on the door in the morning and scolded her for coming back late and being useless at home. Xiaoran didn't know what to say and could only think about finding a new place to live. In the living room, Mrs. Wang complained to her husband about Xiaoran. She has been living here for 6 months. When will she leave? But he said that she was his niece and couldn't be ignored. After Mrs. Wang left for work, Xiaoran finally dared to go to the bathroom to freshen up. However, while she was washing her face, the door opened slightly, and the man looked at Zhuang Ziren's body with a mysterious smile. Uncle Wang had evil thoughts towards his own niece. While Ziren was washing her face, she felt someone behind her. She turned around and saw Uncle Wang. He said he needed dental floss, which made Ziren feel strange because he shouldn't be so casual. Using the excuse of needing dental floss, the man got close to Ziren's body, smelling the fragrance of her hair, and staring at her body with a lewd expression. He said he had held Ziren when she was a child, and now she had grown up so quickly. He asked what she was doing coming home so late every day and insinuated that she was up to no good. If she needed money, she should do as he said, and he would give her some. Ziren was very disappointed. She didn't expect Uncle Wang, who seemed to be the best to her, to be such a beast. She didn't say much and kicked him in the crotch, packed her bags and left. She felt very sad when she saw other families being happy together, and she envied them. But soon, Xiaoran gathered her courage and decided to work hard to earn enough money. She would work as a model in the morning, be a maid in the afternoon, and deliver food on a motorcycle in the evening. As they watched little Ran's departing figure, the others wondered why such a pretty girl would do so many hard jobs. The boss smiled and said she must have her own goals, and she must really like riding motorcycles. On the other side, Tankar was eating snacks in a pedestrian street. Zhuang Ziren rode her motorcycle past him. At this moment, the compass at his waist suddenly vibrated violently, and the pointer spun rapidly. Then, countless red threads shot out from it, and directly attached to Xiaoran's body. This compass can search for everything and judge auspicious or ominous. Tankar's master once said that a person with a red thread will surely die, and there is no way to save them. Looking towards the direction where the red thread was fluttering, Tankar sighed and said that everyone has their own destiny, and there was nothing he could do to help. Just then, his phone in his pocket rang, and it was a task message from the Monster City Bureau. When he saw the task level, Tankar laughed. Mission level A. At another busy construction site, the workers dug up an antique jar that weighed a few hundred pounds and was wrapped with 2 thick ropes on the outside. The workers were all curious about what it was. At this moment, the team leader walked over and told them not to guess and just open it up to find out. As the team leader approached, he saw the lid of the jar covered in densely packed, incomprehensible incantations. He directly opened the lid, and as it fell to the ground, all the runes disappeared. The team leader remained motionless in place. No one knows that he is bleeding from all 7 orifices. All of his life force has been absorbed into this eerie jar. After some time, news of the discovery spread, and everyone rushed to the scene. However, the team that found the jar had all disappeared. Their work clothes and shoes were scattered on the ground, and unfamiliar black water surrounded them. As people approached, they heard a gurgling sound ng from inside the jar. There seemed to be something coming up to the surface from the jar. Suddenly, a head emerged from the jar, followed by a green light shooting up to the sky. When it was over, a corpse appeared on top of the jar, with many big iron nails on it. These nails were used to suppress evil spirits. The ghosts that were nailed were not allowed to do evil, otherwise they would be punished by gods. The workers were frightened and ran away in all directions, but it was too late. The mummy opened its mouth, and began to inhale deeply. The life force of the workers started to pour out of their eyes and mouths, more and more. All of the workers were affected, and their life force gathered above the mummy, forming a large sphere. Mummy absorbed the life force of the workers, causing their bodies to quickly wither away and turn into a black pool of blood on the ground. After finishing its feast, the mummy's eyes emitted a golden light, and it let out a loud howl. Its body began to regenerate flesh, and a bony tail grew from its back with cracking sounds. Overwhelming momentum. This monster comes from a Chinese ancient legend, evolved from a vengeful spirit that has accumulated millennia of resentment. It has an immortal body and 4 eyes that can probe souls. Its physical body has the effects of longevity and enhanced spiritual power, and this monster is named Ren Xiao. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed my video, please leave a comment in the comments section, and consider subscribing to my channel, bookmarking, and sharing this video. I really appreciate it. See you next video.